T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and...
Welcome, everybody. We are your hosts, ROCKINMRMAGIC.
UNIQDNA.
This is the original Jeek podcast.
Gang. I don't see no competition in my face. If we do, then we just move them out the way. I don't even need no money in my face. Hold on. Give me the money when I finish with the gang.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the original Jeek podcast. I am your host, ROCKINMRMAGIC, and join with me yet again is my man, PR Pat Rhodes. Pat, welcome back to the show, homie.
Hello. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Glad to have you back. So it's been a couple weeks since you were last on. Some things done changed, and one thing that we're going to start with that was kind of a shock, as we were both over Mania weekend watching various wrestling events. Bret the Hitman Hart was giving a speech, and I can't even call him a fan, a person wearing a Rasta fake dread wig and hat rushed into the ring and attacked Bret Hart. And I think you text me like almost immediately, like, yo,
I was not happy.
like, yo, did you? And I think it was right after I saw the clip. And that was like the initial one. Then I saw the longer one, and dude, I was like, I don't care. I don't know. What was your reaction to that besides just not being happy?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty brutal. I would consider Hart, and he was there with his daughter, if I remember as well. Correct? He was there with Natalia.
Or Natalia's his niece.
Or niece, yes. Okay,
yes.
Yeah. So family, you could say. And,
oh yeah.
You know, and it's the setting of it. It's WrestleMania weekend. You know, the induction is a huge thing, and everyone's there to pay their respects, regardless of what occurred in the past. You know, with Vince and him and whatnot. But
in the Montreal screw job, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's his day, it's his night, and this guy wasn't he a wrestler or a fighter himself? This other guy.
So this person who attacked Bret Hart is an amateur mixed martial artist who apparently is a big wrestling fan and went to the Octagon wearing a Jack Swagger T-shirt recently.
I mean,
which says a lot about his fandom. Jack Swagger is.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, no one's gonna. If I'm a promoter in the MMA, Dana White or whoever it might be, like that guy is the last guy coming on. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just like one bad event, like your name's out there. I don't know what the legal part of it was if you got arrested, you know what I mean? But like, it was just like childish, you know what I mean? Like,
and it was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like what causes somebody to have heat with Bret Hart after all this time? Like, Bret Hart hasn't been in the ring in
years.
Since Goldberg hurt him in WCW, which was before the company folded. So I want to say the 2000. So it's been almost 20 years since Bret has been an in-ring competitor. He has stayed pretty much in the shadows for most of his retirement. I mean, he's done shoot interviews and he's made, comments here and there, but he hasn't been like a fixture on WWE programming. I don't think he even did anything in TNA, to my knowledge.
No.
Like, he's been just behind the scenes mostly. So for somebody to want to attack Bret, it's like why? Like, it makes zero sense.
Yeah, it really does make you wonder, like, because like you said, it's 20 years. Like, think of all that's occurred over your life in 20 years. Like, are you really still that mad about it? And needless to say, it's nothing that even affected him personally. It was an event, maybe a match that he might have not won, or like you said, the botch match he had, or him getting hurt. But like, I don't know. I just don't know how, if that's what the case was, like how that stays with you, that long.
again, it's like what or why? Like, did Bret Hart do something to your mama? Like
Right?
what? You know, what can I mean? This guy, okay, this guy's name is Zach Madsen. He has his Twitter has a lot of bizarre messages about WWE superstars. Some Seth Ross Sapp at Fightful.com states that perhaps some of those odd, bizarre messages signify some sort of mental illness.
Yeah, I didn't think that's a good chance of that.
Yeah. So Madsen had recently quit his day job at the Allstate Contact Center to focus on his MMA career, which, well, like you mentioned, Dana White and others. I mean, no one's going, even if he's really good, no one's going to touch this guy. You can't do something like this and have a career. Like you're lucky if you have if someone with a name did something
Right.
close to this, maybe they'd have a shot to continue their career. But he's nobody. And he's going to stay nobody because you know you mentioned as far as charges, so he's charged with 2 counts of assault in the 3rd degree and disorderly conduct, and of course he's banned from all WWE events for life.
Yeah, was it worth it?
Yeah, like you got a whole 15 seconds of fame.
And probably I don't think it was like it's like one thing for like someone like I don't know, like there's always a couple of people a year, like if I go to a game that like run across a baseball field. Like, yeah, like, it's kind of funny sometimes, depending on the situation, but like that's just someone probably had a couple too many cold ones in them. And
Right.
And give you $20 if you run foul pole to foul pole. Security gets them. All right, man, look, don't do it again. All right, sorry. But like this guy went up and like attacked someone on stage, like Bret Hart, like the Hitman Hart too. Like, what are you doing? Why would you do this?
This is an old man who's had a stroke.
Right.
Like you know, like this is it's.
And then like if you saw, I think I saw a video of it. Like if he kind of gets out and he's kind of like, oh yeah, and like he's like expecting like this.
Oh no, he didn't get out. They wrapped him up and then the you mentioned family, Natalia being his niece because she was right next to him. But Teddy Hart Jr. and he went to work on this guy. He was just pounding on him.
Yeah.
Just wailing on him as they were, gripping him up. And so did Mr. Rousey. Travis Brown was wrapping him up, and Shane McMahon was throwing hands on this dude. This guy Madsen, he got jacked up by everybody, but Hart especially, he was just hammering on his face. And that's what happens. Like you get into the ring, even if it's an active match, it's a known thing in the wrestling business. If a fan gets in the ring, they're fair game.
Yeah.
Because you never know what crazy people are going to do. And this dude clearly is not all there. And it's also noting that that Madsen had been arrested last year for violating a protection order. So this guy's got this guy's got issues.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad that he kind of did get hammered on a little bit. So yeah, you're gonna get what's coming to you, and you kind of got hammered on a little bit too. So like, yeah, good for you, man. Hope it was worth it.
Exactly. So speaking of getting hammered on, for the past 11 years, Eldrick Woods, aka Tiger Woods, has been just been destroyed by myself and many others. I've always liked Tiger as a golfer, and just as a person, that's a whole different ball game. He has his points and he made his life decisions in his life. I'm not gonna judge the man completely on that. But there's on the golf course, I don't know anybody that doesn't like Tiger. But after obviously all the craziness of his life deterred his game, and he went a whole 11 years without winning a tournament. But now Tiger has reascended the mountaintop to claim. Okay. Okay, you say he's back. Okay, so Tiger wins the Masters after an 11-year drought for any major PGA Tour win. And I can say as a sports person, period, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the win. I'm happy for golf because golf suffers when Tiger's not winning.
Yes.
Um,
Or there. If Tiger's not there,
or there.
golf is
Right.
not. I mean, like I don't watch golf. I love playing it in the summer after work. Go out and get to play a couple holes, throw a couple back. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I keep up with it to an extent. I mean, I think it's probably one of the hardest sports ever. For those that have played it listening, like the pace that those guys play at, especially at like Augusta National, where it's like there's an entire mob of people that follow you. And if you miss a shot, if you do this or whatever, and I mean, these guys are shooting, I mean, well above average. Like they're
Oh yeah.
really unbelievable. And like the pressure and everything and high pressure shots. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, for what Tiger did in his 11 years, how about that? I think it was awesome. I wasn't able to watch. I was on the way home. I went away this weekend. But I was refreshing Twitter constantly in the passenger seat, just constantly looking what happened. And people are like, yeah, it's like Tiger he's back. But
well, he looked really good. I watched some on Friday and some on Saturday. I didn't watch any of the final round. I was getting updates as you were, and you know, I was happy for him. You know, it's been a long time, and golf is just golf is better with Tiger there, like you said, and they built golf so much upon his shoulders that without him, the interest for the common person, the common non-golf enthusiast, like myself, you, and a lot of other people, if Tiger's not there, we just really don't care.
yeah,
You know, no one cares to watch Phil Mickelson play golf. And honestly,
Phil. I like Phil.
I've never been a Phil fan, but like Phil doesn't draw a crowd.
Right. I was gonna say I don't tune in on a Sunday afternoon to watch Phil play.
Exactly.
I tune in to watch Tiger and Phil. Speaking of the pay-per-view between those two,
Yeah.
it's like awesome. Like that's great. Like that's good for the sport. Like they put like a bunch of money on each other and like they went out and did it on pay-per-view. Like that's cool. Like
Yes.
I'll pay to watch like and even like I don't know if you keep up with it, like you know, like Ricky Fowler he had a pretty good Masters.
You did.
And there's always like one guy that's like at the top that's not supposed to be there.
There's always a surprise person.
Yes, that has, you know, shoots the rounds of his life over the span of 3-4 days, like, and then it's
Right.
Tiger, and then like Phil Mickelson, and then Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson, all these guys. So like, I don't know, like I like watching it, kind of like when like the big ones, like you said, like I don't watch, you know.
Yeah, such and such tournament in, Idaho or such and such tournament in Milwaukee. Like no one's watching those.
Right.
Obviously players are playing them because it makes some money and it gets them up the rankings, but no casual fan is watching that. Even if Tiger's there, no casual fans watching it.
Yeah, but Masters is like the Super Bowl of golf. So like I'll
yeah. It is the only for American golf, because the Europeans consider the British Open.
That's a good one too. Yeah, I totally forgot. Like that, like that's worth tuning in for as well.
Yeah, but pretty much like when it comes to golf and Tiger, it's interesting because this came up when it comes to Tiger and the impact he's had on golf. And now, so Tiger's he's been great. Obviously, except for that 11-year span where a lot of that was personal life mixed with just his back ailments, his physical, his body was just in bad shape.
It was an ACL as well, right?
He had the back problem. He had something in the knee.
It was an ACL. It
might have been an ACL. I know the back was like a really big problem was the back.
I mean, you kind of feel for the guy, like watching, like, I don't know. Did you watch his celebration once?
Yeah, so I saw him hug his son.
Yes.
You know, and then they played the clip of him hugging his dad Earl after he had won his first Masters. You know, 20 years ago. Definitely a beautiful moment there. You know, between father and son. It was made. It was, you know, it's one of those things where you couldn't script. It was one of those beautiful
Right.
sports TV moments. And I was thinking about how Tiger impacts golf, and Tiger's. I kind of think that Tiger, as great as he is, has kind of been a little overhyped as far as his impact on the sport of golf. Because when he came out, everybody was thinking, especially after how good he was, wow, you're going to see a whole lot more, you know, black golfers and more golfers of color come into the PGA Tour. You're going to see a whole big shift in golf. Well, 20 years later, we haven't had that shift when it comes to who was playing golf. But what I've noticed in kind of having some of these small conversations around Tiger's winning, and subtopic to this is that Tiger's impact on the game has really just been on the business of golf, because golf has never made golfers, and golf broadcasts and channels and such have never made as much money as they have except during the Tiger Woods era. Like, he has generated, and obviously through, you know, great marketing by the people at Nike, you know, pushing him as this golf icon, so much money has been made by, you know, the networks that host, you know, that broadcast the major championship, you know, the major PGA championships, and he's just generated so much money for the sport, for himself, for golf. I mean, think about it. 11 years ago, 11 or 12 years ago, you know, him and his wife are having this fight whenever everyone finds out what's going on. You know, he's cheating and this and that. She files for divorce. What does she do? She takes half his money. Half his money is half his money was $500 million.
It's a lot of money.
It's a whole lot of money. Like Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, you know, Greg Norman, all these great golfers didn't sniff $500 million combined in earnings. That's him. That's one dude, one guy.
To piggyback off that, Nike Golf isn't even around anymore.
Yes.
I literally primarily think because of Tiger Woods' 11-year span, it was like, all right, well, our main guy's out. So, like,
yes.
Like if you took like Michael Jordan out of Nike, kind of like there wouldn't be shoes. Like,
yeah, well, no, you're exactly right.
Literally what it is.
Nike Golf died because Tiger wasn't Tiger.
He wasn't there.
Yeah, because he wasn't there, and he was the only one really making the Nike Golf brand look good. Because anyone who's used Nike Golf equipment can tell you it was substandard.
Okay.
It was okay. You know, it was affordable, surprisingly. You know, the golf balls were not anything anybody wanted to hit. I mean, I tried a couple. They were not, didn't want them. You know, anyone can make a good polo. The polos and the hats, and of course, well designed. They look good. Yes. You know, golf apparel wise, fine, but the clubs were trash. The golf balls were best for driving range at best. You didn't actually want to shoot a course with those. It wasn't a great division for them, especially when the face of the products was not either playing because of his injuries, or he was just losing because of, you know, everything that's tied into his life between the injuries and, you know, and the personal drama. And that division is defunct. Who knows if they'll ever think about bringing it back, because they still make his stuff. He still has the TW, you know, logo and all that. So who knows if they would ever try to revitalize the division. And if they do, I would tell them to pump the brakes. Because as great as this is as a moment for golf and for Tiger, let's pump the brakes on saying Tiger's back.
I only say that because I like to see that. I think he's going to be around for a while. And some of the guys on the internet, everyone's tweeting, "Tiger's back, Tiger's back." And pictures of Tiger Woods' face on an actual tiger.
Oh my God.
But it's good. I think it's good. I love the Tiger Woods and Vern calling the match.
Yeah.
Was spectacular. I miss him on Saturdays for college football. But like just like the Tiger Woods, like 2 hands in the air, just fist pumps, screaming, like you could tell like he is great for the sport of golf because he cares.
Oh,
But
he definitely does.
the thing
It's
is
his
with
passion.
I mean, like Nike had a good when it was relevant. Like they had like decent equipment. Like, could you imagine today, by today's standards, what Nike stuff would be? Been Tiger stuck around.
They would be higher up on in the golf food chain, definitely.
But if you put a Nike symbol on anything,
Yeah.
Hey, it sells. People, and again, if there's 1 or 2 kids that say, "Oh, well, Tiger wears it, or Tiger swings it, I'm gonna buy it."
Right.
Literally all it takes.
And that's what they did, and it worked for a while. But once he stepped out, it wasn't the same anymore, and that just had such an adverse impact on them. And I think that right now with this win, everyone's so excited because it's an exciting moment. But this is just one PGA major win in 11 years. Like, let's look at it from an objective piece here. Like, he's 42, 43 years old. Is he going to? He can't. I don't think he physically can be Tiger of old. Can he continue to win tournaments? Can he win another major? Definitely. He's got all the ability in the world. And if he can continue to win a couple more, he can finally break all doubters, and it can send the mountaintop as the greatest golfer to date. Because the only thing Nicklaus has on him is those major victories.
Yep.
At 18 over to Tiger's now 15. So if Tiger can win a couple more, as he can continue to play, he has that in front of him. But when people say Tiger's back, and I'm thinking, okay, you're talking about Tiger being Tiger. You think about he's gonna be back to his old form. His old form was best the world's probably ever seen for a golfer's run. And
it wasn't even close.
Yeah, and it wasn't even close.
Minus John Daly. I'm a big John Daly fan just because of the stories that he did on HBO. But like,
that dude was a mess.
John Daly's back.
Right? He was his shirt off and swinging with his beer belly. He was entertaining. John Daly was one entertaining dude. Like, but I'm just like, just calm down on this Tiger's back thing, just because he won. Let's call it what it is. Tiger won. Yay, awesome. Let's not say he's back, because he'd have to go on a string of, 2 majors or 3 majors a year for a couple years to say Tiger is back. Tiger won. Let's hope he wins some more. Let him solidify his place in history. But let's pump the brakes on saying that old Tiger is here again, because that's a whole lot of golf and a whole lot of winning that who knows if his body can deal with all that.
Yeah, I think and golf is one of those sports. So the glory of what Tiger has to his advantage is the fact that, like, number one, his experience is unmatched to anybody. Only Phil.
That's playing really on the tournament right now. Yeah, I can't hardly name any of the current golfers. Like, I think of big time golfers, and my mind is still on dudes who are probably all on the senior tour if they're still playing.
Right.
The Ernie Els is in.
Yeah.
Guys like that, or Davis Love the Third, or I forget the white dude with the shades that was supposed to be.
VJ Singh still play?
No, he's definitely got to be senior tour now. VJ.
Yeah.
VJ was in his 40s when Tiger was roaring in his 20s and 30s.
Right, so.
Oh, yeah, of course. Senior tour makes money too. I'm trying to think.
But the point being,
but Fred Couples and all those guys during Tiger's heyday. Those, Sergio Garcia, those guys. Well, I think Garcia is still
Yeah,
close
I
to
think he's
Tiger's age.
still playing the majors and stuff.
Yeah, some of those do, but most of those guys on the senior tours they're still playing.
I think
can't.
the thing he has to his advantage though is it's golf is it's not a grueling sport. So if the back holds up, if the knee holds up, he can play another 8 years. But he don't got to worry about like football or hockey getting hit or baseball an arm blowing out or like golf is
it's not a grueling sport.
No.
But the thing about it is what's tricky with golf is that even though it's not grueling, because you're swinging and walking, and that's not hard compared to the grind of a hockey, of a football, or even of a basketball.
Yes,
but it's such a finesse sport.
Yes.
That especially with the back, like there's so much in your swing and your back. Like if your back ain't right, you really can't play the game. And it's such a finesse sport that everything on your body has to be on point for you to be effective. So even though he's not getting banged around, it's tough because if your body isn't right, you really can't play golf. You can go out there and hit the ball, but you can't play top level golf if your body isn't where it needs to be. And I hope for his sake, obviously, that his back is finally at a point where he can continue to play the way he played on over this past weekend. But I'm not a doctor. I have no idea what his diagnosis has been with his back, but the likelihood, unfortunately, is low that he would be able to maintain this level of play with his age, the damage that's been to his back, and how precision of a game golf is.
I think with and there's a lot of ifs. If his back, the knee, hopefully there's no more personal life flare-ups.
Hopefully that would be a tragedy.
Right, but if all that goes, kind of
to the wayside.
Right, or goes like according to plan, like, hey, look, he stays out of trouble, he's healthy, and his experience with, I think, a healthy Tiger, and he looked good the other weekend.
He looked great.
He looked pretty big too. Like, I think he's going to play for a little while. Even if he doesn't win, like you said, to what we said at the beginning, like, just be around, man. Just go out there, play your ass off, and just be great. But like you said, as long as he's around, just he draws a crowd like Happy Gilmore,
Yeah, it's amazing how different the crowds are when he's there compared to when he's not there.
Yeah, it's insane. Noticeable. I mean, it's still there, but because
the crowds are there, but the crowds are so much bigger when Tiger's there. The amount of people that have interest is crazy. So talking about interest in this win, I'm not going political really on this, but just related on the impact Tiger has on to the casual fans. President Trump tweeted out to Tiger Woods congratulating for his win, and he and Tiger are apparently old golf buddies and have played many a round of golf together. President Trump is going to give the Medal of Freedom to Tiger in essentially celebration for his return to glory. What are your thoughts on now? Before, if you're not familiar, the Medal of Freedom is a civilian medal given out by the president to people essentially the president deems worthy. The official designation is to someone who has done something of high merit that positively impacts the United States, his national security, or the culture in a great way, things of that nature. So, what is your reaction to the president deciding to bestow upon Tiger Woods the United States Medal of Freedom?
Keeping politics aside of this throughout, because I don't think politics has, if at all, any impact on this. Like, I think that it's good he's got it. Good for him. Like you said, like we were just talking about it. Like Tiger, I think Tiger Woods, again, regardless of what he got into, For the sport, for the golf, for people to enjoy, to watch, yeah, that's all a huge upside. Going out to watch him play and what he's accomplished in the last 11 years, great. There's a big part of me though that thinks like I don't really think that he should have gotten it because there would be a little political factor in there. Like, why are you getting a medal? I think that there's a laundry list of people I would give that medal to in the past before I give it to Tiger Woods.
Agreed. That was my initial reaction. I thought about it a little bit more myself, and I said, well, President Obama gave Michael Jordan this medal, and as much as I love Michael Jordan, I can't think of anything that he's done for national security. Keeping the country safe or anything like that.
Tiger, no offense, but I don't know. I would give it if I had to think of anybody to give that medal to. I mean,
like there are groundbreaking doctors or scientists, or there are people fighting sex trafficking and rescuing children from there are so many other people who you can give a medal of freedom to than a golfer or a basketball player. Like someone's mentioned that Obama gave one to Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, cool. Ellen does. I'm not even an Ellen fan, but Ellen does a lot for people. She's very generous. She's very philanthropic. Cool. Give Ellen a medal of freedom. That's totally cool. I can see why she would get something like that. I can see why Oprah or something like that would get something like that. Tiger Woods, I mean, Tiger is such a private dude. I can't see him helping anybody's freedom.
I think I was going to say the only thing that I would say that if he deserved to get it, maybe there's something we don't know about with charity work or maybe there's something that we aren't quite up to snuff on. Like, hey, look, like he's been doing a lot of this stuff plus his amazing performance. Yeah,
potentially.
I can totally justify that then. Like, good for you, man. Like, but to the fact of no offense, like a Medal of Freedom, you think of Medal of Honor first of all right away. So you think that you have to do this.
You think of a military service,
right? So for your common listener out there, it's Medal of Freedom, so Medal of Honor. No, but like for sports wise, let's just stick to sports. I mean, I would could you imagine if my man Nick Foles last year, admirable performance for the Eagles to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's like great. I mean, as an Eagles fan, he should definitely get one. But it's just kind of like, wait, what? Like, why? You know,
it doesn't make sense.
I mean, granted, I as one of my almost favorite players of all time with him, I know he for a fact does a lot of charity or whatever.
He's a really nice dude.
Any other sport, I don't know, giving Gretzky one for hockey, or I don't know, giving Derek Jeter one for baseball, it's let sports be sports. We have rewards for that. MVPs, Rookie of the Years, things like that. We have stuff for that. I think leave that to something like you said, your Ellen DeGeneres, your Oprah.
But like you said, if he did something or he does something that warrants getting that award because he has 5 orphanages in Africa or in Europe or in Asia or something like that,
something that we don't know about,
right, that he's taking care of kids, President Obama gave one of these to Bill Gates because of Bill Gates' work in Africa. That makes sense.
Yes,
Bill Gates put millions of dollars into philanthropic things around the world. Cool. Give that man the medal. He's working to help freedom and people of the countries and stuff like that. If Tiger has something like that, where he's doing beyond his civilian duty, cool. Then you need to say this is the reason why, and not have a knee-jerk reaction to your buddy winning a golf tournament, because it looks like you're giving a knee-jerk reaction to your buddy because he won a golf tournament. And Tiger, I'm not saying he wouldn't be philanthropic, but he doesn't strike me as the philanthropic type. He's so guarded. He's so private. He doesn't like to talk a lot. Doesn't like to be out in front of people. He's the type that if he did anything, it will be more, I'm donating money here, and not one of those, not the Ellen type, not the Bill Gates type, not the Steve Jobs type, where they're getting in front their hands, they're getting their hands dirty. They're in the limelight. Hey, they're actually going there, and putting their hands to the plow, for lack of a better term, on top of giving money. They're actually physically involved. I can't see Tiger as that type of person. I mean, I could be wrong, but just from what I observed with Tiger, he doesn't seem like that type of dude.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. He does have the Tiger Woods Foundation. I've never really looked into this before. It seems great. So like you could justify that, but I mean, we're both huge fans and we really didn't know about it. So like,
yeah, so yeah,
I don't know.
because like I mean, I've heard of LeBron's foundation, Michael Jordan's foundations. You would hear them, even Jordan, who kind of kept a lot of his philanthropic stuff quiet. Like you knew about it, he would mention every once in a while. He didn't hold it up and say, "Hey, praise me because I do this." We knew he did it. We knew he had his foundations. You would hear stories about him donating, Jordans to a high school here, buying uniforms for a school in North Carolina or in Chicago area because, the schools, their budget got messed up and they couldn't afford uniforms. So he decided to donate and give them uniforms. Like you would hear stuff like that here and there. And he wasn't trying to make himself look good about it, but you would hear about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2019. We just discovered that Tiger Woods has a foundation. It's like, what's that foundation really doing? And not that it's doing anything wrong. It's not a Hillary Clinton foundation, but it's a foundation that's not really making a lot of noise either.
Yeah. And if like, let's just like for conversation's sake, now that you got me thinking, like if you had to give it to an athlete, like in like let's just say you had to give like of all sports, like somebody a medal.
I had to give it to an athlete. Okay, there are.
I could probably rattle 3 decent ones off.
I could rattle a good number of athletes that I would give a medal like that to.
Like not that medal in specific, but like a medal of like, honor, good character, athletic performance included, but like work outside of it as well.
Some of these will sound cliche, but automatically Jackie Robinson.
It's going way back. Okay.
Yeah, I mean
Jackie Robinson Day.
Yeah, Jackie. Yeah, thank you.
It's today.
Yeah, it's today. Yes.
Yes.
And that's why he's forefront to my mind too. But definitely Jackie Robinson.
Clemente then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Clemente is going to be another one. The man died aiding Puerto Rico. I mean, come on.
I was thinking modern.
Okay.
LeBron, JJ Watt were 2 that I could easily pick out. Those guys could probably fund like a little short of like half the country with the stuff that they've done.
Yeah, I mean LeBron helped make a charter school.
Yeah,
with his own money. Like generally, that's tax dollars. That's his own money.
That's crazy.
What JJ Watt did for Houston was fantastic,
and it continues to do.
Yeah, and it continues to.
He's amazing.
Yeah. I would go back a little bit too because there's some other people like Tommy Smith and John Carlos. I would have definitely given them. They got crapped on for too many decades after the 68 games. I would have done. Who else? I'm trying to think here.
This is tough. I'm trying to go through every sport. Like baseball, I might give it to.
I'm trying to think of. I was trying to think baseball too.
Well, besides Clemente and Jackie Robinson,
I'm trying to think of somebody more modern, like you said. Oh man, modern ones.
I'm not gonna say Derek Jeter because I don't think he did much.
No, I wouldn't say DJ either because DJ's known for being a great player and dating a lot of hot chicks. But aside from that,
he gets that award. That's an award itself. So
yeah, for real, you don't need no more awards from that. Oh man, I'm trying to think.
There's probably a lot. I mean, I'm probably thinking.
Okay, well, okay, no, I know exactly who, and some friends of mine have worked with him personally in regards to helping people, especially those in third world countries. Mariano Rivera.
Mo, okay, Mo's a good one. Mo's a good one.
And even though he has a bad boy reputation, not Mo, but another one who had a bad reputation, but my old pastor who has worked with personally well in the DR, as Pedro Martinez.
Pedro, yeah. Oh, Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a bad boy reputation. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's that bad, but
He threw an 80-year-old man to the ground.
He did throw Don Zimmer down.
Granted, Zimmer went after him, but he did throw an 80-year-old man to the ground.
Yeah. I would even say, like, thinking, like Red Sox. Like, I know Ortiz does a lot.
Oh yeah, Big Papi does a lot.
But to that note, like, me being around the game of baseball for so long, keeping up with it, is like all the Dominican, Puerto Rican, whoever, whatever it might be,
the Cubans, yeah.
Cubans, those, and it's all across the game, really. There's probably a ton that we're missing, but I know a lot of those guys do go back and give back.
Oh yeah.
Like I saw like a thing on Tuve. They did a documentary on him, Correa, like the Astros thing that they were doing. Them, but like there's a list that goes on and on and on of like guys that go home, and some guys specifically go back to play in a winter league and like fund the winter leagues.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean it's
yeah, those are great. Like hockey is a tough one. I'm trying to think of.
Speaking of hockey. Breaking news, the Lightning just got swept.
Yeah, they got destroyed. And so did that kid who tried to fight Ovechkin. He got knocked out.
Yeah, a 33-year-old Russian machine absolutely steamrolled a 19-year-old kid. But the kid instigated it.
He did. He did. You should know better than mess with Ovi. Like you should.
Looking at this, because I mean, I love the sport of hockey. It's great. I don't know. It's something about it. But the 2018-19 Lightning were 62-16. I think they tied. Was it Montreal's record or the Red Wings record? Yeah, I think it was the Red Wings for most points all time in a season.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the 90s Red Wings teams. Yeah.
Other teams in here: 2001 Mariners. The 2015-16 Warriors were 73-9. The 2007 Patriots, 16-0.
16-0. Yeah, they had one of the best seasons in hockey.
But the Patriots, for example, like football's crazy, so you're only playing one game,
right?
The series, and they got trounced in the first round. They just absolutely got steamrolled. The other teams did not. They made it pass around, they made it here, but you maybe lost in the World Series, or maybe you lost in.
Or like losing the Super Bowl, thanks to the luckiest catch I have ever seen in my life, where a dude's holding the ball to his head. Like no one has seen David Tyree since that catch.
Right. But I don't know. I think it's worth mentioning and that's crazy. I consider that an absolute failure.
That's a failure on coaching and players, a complete collapse.
I think you take a good look at coaching there.
Oh yeah, that's coaching. You don't have that talented of a team that's taking the ice with 3 really strong lines, and their 4th line is not shabby.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah, they're a really good team. They skate well, they hit well, they pass well. There's very few holes on that Lightning team. So if you're getting crushed like that, that is by far coaching.
Well, I mean, going back
coaching and execution on the players.
Execution's one. I think goaltending. If you get, he might have Vasilevsky might have had a couple bad stretches.
Yeah.
AKA this series, but all season he had like a top 5 save percentage all year, and it's I don't know.
But you can't even put it on the goalie because
you're right.
You've got defensive men that are supposed to be helping them out. If they figured out a part of your defense, as a coach, you need to make adjustments. You've got to figure out how you can keep them from getting good looks at the net. Players sometimes have bad streaks, and I only watched one of the 2 periods of game 1, and it didn't look like, at least in game 1, it didn't look like that they weren't executing. More that they got shell shocked in game 1. They're like, oh wow, these guys are for real. And then the rest of the series, I saw the score. I'm like, what? Twice? Okay, all right. Lightning struck twice. Okay, this is not going to happen again. And then all of a sudden, another loss, and then the series is over. And I'm sitting there like, I have no idea how this happened.
Well, this one was like 7-3 or something.
Yeah.
The other game I watched, I will check on my phone, was like 5-1.
Yeah, they blasted them.
Yeah, so that's
They were putting up baseball scores, and it's hockey.
and I am watching it on TV now. I hope the Penguins get swept too. I despise
Well, the Penguins are done. Stick a fork in them.
Good. All right, and to our point, the Penguins have now been eliminated.
Haha. Yes.
Well, I can't say it now. It's 3-1 with 37 seconds. So see ya.
I can't wait till Crosby's gone and I can like the Penguins again.
No, I despise him. But I digress. So
Yeah,
we have
same
other
here.
topics to get to. I can't be talking this one.
Yeah. We'll spend a whole episode on why I hate Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, I honestly could do an entire probably 3 episodes. I could do a whole season on it, but
Yeah. Yeah, we ain't got that much time. So so going from hockey games to digital games, I know you're more of an Xbox guy compared to me being a PlayStation guy. Well, Microsoft announced, since they are, struggling to try to keep up in the console wars, they announced a digital only, so no disc drive, no DVDs, Xbox One S digital edition was announced at a $250 price point, and bundle comes with 3 digital games. Do you think this would be an advantage for Microsoft in the console wars, being that the PS4 has consistently been beating it, and the Switch has been one of the hottest consoles since it's been released?
I played the Switch for the first time the other day. By the way, one of my good friends actually brought it over to another friend's house when we played it. It was actually like really cool. I've
Yeah.
seen it. I think that design is awesome. Like I wouldn't buy one, but just because like I wouldn't play it. Like I love like my Xbox, like what I have on here. So
Well, why wouldn't you play Switch? Why?
I would play it. I may buy one in the future. Time may be a factor, and not because a lot of what I do with my friends is like we'll play online. So like we'll all talk. We'll play like I just got into the Division 2, so we'll go do that.
Okay.
Or we'll play like a game of NHL, or when Fortnite was relevant, we would go on that.
You mean Fortnite's not relevant anymore?
To me, I kind of.
Oh, please!
I don't play as much. But
hey, I deleted Fortnite from my PS4. I've played it maybe 10 times. I'd rather play Destiny.
Right, you can play online in that.
Yeah, like it wasn't fun. Ellie should say it wasn't fun. It just wasn't that fun. I mean, if I'm going to get a game where I'm going to shoot, I don't want to be sitting there building things too. I could do without that. And some people are good at it. I've got some friends. I have one friend that she's really good at it, and she's a creator on Fortnite too. She got a creator code. Like she's really good. And I'm happy for her, and a lot of people like it, but I never dug it. It was a little too cartoony for me. I would rather play Call of Duty. I'd rather play Destiny. I would rather play the Division than Fortnite. It didn't catch. It wasn't fire for me. But I understand why the younger crowd likes it. I understand why teenagers like it, and preteens like it, because that's more for the age range. Hey, here's a shoot 'em up that's cartoony. It's a little over the top. It's funny. It's got the current dances in it. The reason why it caught fire makes complete sense. I'm just too old for that mess.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for it, but do we know what games are coming with it?
It didn't the article I read on IGN did not specify games coming with it. They have been recently with some of during the Christmas season with the Xbox One S bundles. They were giving away like NBA 2K19. There were some bundles that had Red Dead mixed in with it. I'm trying to think what other ones I saw. FIFA. I'm gonna say it's probably definitely a sports title in there because those ones tend to be easy to pull people in. But I did not see the article specify
I think that
any.
they did something with like if you got I thought I heard you mention like 3 games with it.
Yeah,
If that's the case, that's not bad. Because it used to be $300, right? Which still wasn't like,
it was more depending upon the size. Like it was like $400. It's
yeah.
$399, and then you bought a game. Or if you got the bundle, you maybe an extra $50. They have a game and a extra controller.
Yeah, which isn't too bad, but I think for like you said, yeah, if they're staying competitive, yeah, I mean, drop the price and add a little bit more, not significantly more that you're taking a hit, but like, yeah, I think it'll keep them competitive because like this sounds like how much is a Switch?
Switch is $299.
Hmm.
But I mean, you can, depending upon where you're looking, you can get a deal. Like I got my Switch in a bundle with an extra controller, memory card, and Mario Kart, and I think it was $325.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think it's a good move.
And that wasn't even a Christmas deal. That was just in the spring because
Oh,
I got it. It was a joint. It was a joint birthday gift since my twins, their birthday is 6 days before mine, so it was a twins and daddy joint gift.
so that's not a bad deal.
No, it's not a bad deal at all. And the Switch is freak. I mean, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
And plus I can take it. I can take it with me as a gaming addict. I can take it and play Breath of the Wild wherever I want to be, wherever I want to go
That's what
with
I
it.
think is so cool about that.
Yes, like that, and you can just easily set it up on a TV no matter where you are. You have the control, the one main controller, but they go in half. So if you're playing a community game like Mario Kart or Mario Party or Smash or whatever, well, Smash is kind of hard because we have like a couple of those 4 buttons, but you can take the one controller, you split it into 2, and you've got 2 controllers there, and you've got 2 controllers, and you've got 4 controllers for those community games. So it's a whole lot easier to just pick up and play. The motion aspect is obviously very Wii like. It's a beautiful genesis to watch from where the Wii was to the Wii U, which is essentially a bigger, bulkier version and less powerful version of the Switch. The Switch is the slimmed down version of it, but to see that they still have the motion part still into it with the uh, form size for the controller, the ease of portability, which has been Nintendo's thing that's kept them in business, is the portable gaming world, because they own the handheld world with the DS. No one else has even has a handheld that even comes close to comparing. The PSP and the PS Go, I forget what the name of it, the PSP Go or whatever that was. Those were flops. Um, Microsoft hasn't even tried a handheld. So you take a console that is slightly underpowered compared to your PS4s and your Xboxes, but it's got most of the same games, and you can take it with you and have all your party games and stuff on it, or you can just take it to work and put out on your lunch break and game for an hour. Like it's a fantastic device.
Yeah, and I think that's like you said, that's why they have the situation they're in with their market is because it's like no one else can like create it.
Yeah, you can't mimic what Nintendo does. Like Sony and Microsoft are playing the same game. Who can top this with their I have the most powerful console. No, I have the most powerful console. Well, I have these exclusives. Well, I have this exclusive. And Nintendo's like, we're playing a different game here. We're playing the long game. We're playing the I'm going to do something different from everybody else game. As much as I'm a collector, and I've been slow with adding Microsoft systems to my collection. I had bought an original Xbox, not too maybe 6-7 months after launch when they had released the slimmer S controller, because the original controller was just too stupid big and clunky for my liking. Um, that's when I got that, but I didn't get a 360 until like a year ago. And that was only because a friend of my wife was selling her sons for $50 and had like a ton of games, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it for $50. But I had no reason or need to buy a 360, um, despite me being a big time collector of systems. And I'm like, okay, the collector me needs to get an Xbox One or One S because I'm a collector. But it's like, do I really need to get this? Like, what is a digital only one? I can't do anything offline really with it. I have to buy everything digitally, and I like having cases. Like, I can't see this making that big of a dent and drawing in customers that were either on the fence or kind of outside looking in. Like, going digital only, just and you're saving what, $50? Big freaking deal. Like, it's not like you're selling it for you know for 200, and it's a significantly big savings because you're not buying discs. So
Let's see how that plays, because that's gonna be, because like I just started, like I have an external hard drive for my Xbox because I like to buy and play a whole bunch of different games at once.
yeah.
Like right now I'm playing the Division 2, which is a fantastic game. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Very time consuming, which is good. I mentioned in previous podcasts Fallout. I heard Fallout, the newest one,
76 was, yeah, that was a travesty.
I heard it stunk, so I didn't buy it. But previously, those games were awesome. Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty is very good. I don't mind that. Your Halo, like me and my buddy still hop on Halo every now and again. Like I don't know, like me and my generation of like kids, like we still have discs. Like I still have to put a disc into play. So like I don't know. Do we know if we can like if I bought it, I would have to pretty much go buy those games again, right? Or
so, and that's a great question. So I try to, because I'm an old gamer, I like having my physical discs. I lean towards getting the physical disc. However, I have done over the past couple of years my fair share of digital purchases because either it was on sale and the sale was too good to avoid passing up on. Um, for example, like WWE 2K18 last year was like 70% off, and it was like the deluxe edition. So I was like, I'm getting everything that would have been like $89, but I'm getting it for like 24. Okay, I'll buy it. And that was like, okay, I don't need to have the disc for this. But if it's a game I really like Red Dead Redemption, I'm gonna buy the disc because I know I'm gonna play this game a whole lot.
yes.
The thing with the the digital purchases, it's in your account, so it works so far the way iTunes works, in that you're signed in, you're authorized on the machine, then you can download the game as long as it's system compatible, of course, and play. So if that rings true, great. But what the companies are going to have to do to avoid making people angry, or to at least keep them on one system, is that they're going to have to make each system to make sure it's compatible and will play those games. So the PS5, which I don't know if you've seen some of the rumored specs that were kind of leaked out today, but the PS5, whenever it comes out, it's going to need to be able to keep me on one system. I'm going to need to be able to download to that system any game that's PS5, my PS4 titles,
Right.
and my PS3 titles, and still be able to play them. I shouldn't have to, because right now, unless they made a PS4 version for the PS4 version of a PS3 game, kind of like the Last of Us type of situation where they made the deluxe version that's for PS4. Right now, I would have to go to my PS3 to play a particular digital game.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see how that shakes down because like it's good that they're dropping price, but you don't want to do it just for the sake of like moving units out of a store. You know what I mean? So like
Yep.
you can make it $50. I still might not go buy it because well, why would I buy that? I can't play any of my games on it. So
Right.
it's kind of maybe down the road. You know what I mean? Like this is something that like we can revisit. And I'm like, oh yeah, this one's really good, and they have these new games on it. I still think there's a lot of holes between both of them, Xbox, PS4. Like certain titles that each holds.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like it bugs me so bad how like I can't buy MLB The Show for my Xbox.
And it is the best baseball game. You're not going to get a better one.
It's unbelievable. Like we go to my buddy's house just to play like all night.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love the show.
But your Halo and Gears of War. So, where do you kind of trade off there?
Exactly.
So I don't know. I think there's a lot. I am a big advocate for just cross-platforming. Like Fortnite, back to Fortnite, they did it. Like because you could cross-platform. Like I've played with guys on PS4 before.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. That was a huge hit. And look at what they did.
That's true. Like I think the community games especially are going to be the ones to pull that more into the forefront. So like the Division, the Destinies, the Fortnites, those are going to have a huge impact on how much cross-platform gaming will be able to do. Anyone that plays console versions of games that are generally like PC games, like a League of Legends or Star Trek Online, things like that. That's also going to be a potential crossover point. Minecraft players also, you're going to want to be able to, have your PS4 go on, a server that your bunch of your PC homies are on. So that could definitely make a big dent into it. I think personally, what's going to propel a company like for what Sony's doing right now is Sony's doing a great job with exclusives. So if you keep getting the exclusive titles, or at least getting titles out, or having exclusivity for a certain amount of time, you're going to do better than the other companies, even if you're having the cross-platform compatibility.
Right.
Because they'll want to have your system first. Now, some systems like Nintendo, because they're playing a different game, I think Nintendo's really playing chess while everybody else is playing. I wouldn't say they're playing checkers, but they're maybe playing Chinese checkers, but they're not playing the same game. Nintendo's they're still the master of the family market.
But they own that.
They own that. Like they rule it.
Nobody coming close to that for a very long time.
Yeah, they have all your kid friendly safe games. You can play adult games on it too. They own the family market, and that's not going anywhere. You're not going to challenge that.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's going to challenge like PS4, Xbox. It's because it's pretty segregated at this point. Like your PC guys are PC guys. I still casually play on PC at times. Like Counter-Strike. I love Counter-Strike. The old one too. Like that's a game that has aged great. Like because people still play that. Obviously your newer versions of it are out, but I wouldn't put money into it because I don't play it that much. But your Xbox, like your Xbox guys and your PS, it's hard to kind of convert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know a couple of my friends have specifically bought a PlayStation to play the show. I've even thought about it, but it's kind of like, like having to, go and buy a whole platform and a console and get everything just to play one game. So, well, it'll be interesting to see how everything shakes down with it. I think that they'll do a little bit better because of pricing, but like in the long run, you're going to see, I mean, maybe it's for people with the older Xbox, because I have the newest one, the One S, like the white one that came out with increased storage and whatnot. Like that was great. right? Compared to the other one, just the one. The one was the black one with the chrome accent on it.
Yeah, so yes, there's the one, and there's the 1S, and then they have the what's the X, the super, the one with with the 4 teraflops, or like the super one.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a beast. And to me, I was like, if I'm going to drop the money, I'm just going to go for the gusto. Why buy a slimmed down version when I can get the full big bad boy and know it's going to have the power to last in the future. But you mentioned that something there as far as competition. And Matt, like no one's really going to be able to mess with on the console side, really, between the war that's between Sony and Microsoft. However, Google is throwing their hand into the console wars. Did you hear about this?
I have not.
Okay, so how long ago was this? It was in March. Late March, around my birthday, late March, was GDC 2019, and Google announced a platform that a console that they're calling Stadia. So, gaming platform that's powered by Google's cloud infrastructure. So, unlike traditional consoles, like the Xbox One and the PS4 that we've been talking about, Stadia doesn't truly live in a box. It's living in the cloud. So they envision when their service launches later in this year that their games will be quickly accessible through Chrome on various devices like your desktop, your laptop, obviously Google phones and tablets. And you will be able to Chromecast it if you're on like your Pixel and you want to play it on your TV. So they're going to have an accessory for Stadia, which is essentially just a controller, which looks like it looks like an Xbox controller. It's very similar to that. It actually looks really like the PS4 Pro, third-party PS4 Pro controller, which is like a blend of a PlayStation controller and an Xbox controller. But they also mentioned that third-party USB controllers could work as well. So they haven't said anything as far as pricing, which I think would be more along the subscription model. Nor do they see a release date, but they're still talking about 2019 as late 2019 as far as releasing Stadia. So there's a lot of potential here with the advent of doing more of this cloud-based gaming. What do you think of what I share with you as far as Google trying to throw their hat into the gaming world?
I don't think it's a good idea for them at all. I really don't.
You think they're too far behind as far as trying to play catch up with the big dogs?
I think that they're years behind because we just talked about how like the feature benefits of an Xbox or a PS4 or even on PC, I think totally outweigh because what you're gonna. Do they have pricing on that, by the way?
No pricing yet. No pricing yet. No details onto how you get your games, how much it'll cost to access the platform, nor did they share a release date.
So the thing that I think that they might be going after might be, I think from what it sounds like you're telling me, is that with the whole cloud-based storage, is that they're going after a little bit more of the Switch. To be honest with you, that's what I think that they're going after, because if it's all cloud-based, it's going to be like you said, you're going to be able to play it almost anywhere. Whereas Xbox, PS4, you pretty much need wires, a TV, or else you're pretty much not playing. I think that they're going to go after that, and like we said, it's kind of tough to. So, what would you rather buy, a Google device or a Switch?
Or maybe they're not even. I just saw this. Maybe they're not even going after the Switch. Maybe what they're going after is more just to dominate the mobile gaming market. because
Yes.
mobile gaming isn't talked about as much on shows like this or others, but no one can deny that mobile games make a ton of money. I mean, we've had 10 years of Angry Birds, and Angry Birds is still doing their thing. Mobile games are huge. They make money. I still play The Sims free play on my iPad. Like, every once in a while, I'll play some Angry Birds. Every once in a while, I'll play some Plants vs. Zombies. Like, a lot of these, tons of games have fallen off the wayside, but mobile gaming is still a pretty big thing. This to me feels like, because of the flexibility on what you can play on, it sounds to me that they want to be like the ultimate mobile gaming platform, and where I can imagine. So not that not buy a Pixel, 'cause I love my iPhone, but let's say I had a Pixel, I'm playing this intense game of Angry Birds, and I get home and I need to charge it. My game save, everything's in the cloud, so my game saves in the cloud. So I put my Pixel on the charger. I pick up my Google tablet and I resume playing. Or I pick up my Stadia controller and I start Chromecasting to my TV, and I pick up my game where I left off. That's a pretty cool.
That is cool.
That's a pretty cool concept. Sony tried that with the handoff between the PS4 and whatever the latest generation handheld was called. I forget because it was so bad. But they tried that. It didn't really catch on. But
And that's what I think is going to happen again. Just for like marketing purposes, you could say, like, you think of like, all right, let's just say we all don't have an Xbox or a PS4, a computer, whatever. Google would probably be like my last place I could go. I could be wrong on this. Maybe it's a generational thing, because like we said, like for younger kids, just to have it at home and have it just real simple. Maybe it's priced pretty fair. You can just, hey, whatever, it's popping on the TV, like let the kids play it. Sure, that would be probably okay. But that, or like even like a Wii or like a Switch, like from what they're doing, like I'm not personally, I don't play. I use my phone for, unfortunately, for work, fantasy sports in general, and then like your occasional social media.
Right.
I don't have time to play like a game on my phone. But I know it's big, like your Clash of Clans and stuff, your Plants and Zombies, Angry Birds, all that stuff. Like there's like little like games in that you can play, but like I don't know. I just, for what, again, I think there's a lot of stuff that comes out, like what's it priced at, what comes with it, how does it actually work? Those are big ifs. If they hit it out of the park, yeah, it could probably be successful. But like entering that market is very steep. Like
it's a challenge.
Transition people over.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to really do some hardcore marketing and showing why. Like, I'm as a gamer for 30 plus years now. I mean, I've been gaming since I was 5, so over 30 years. I don't need to be convinced to buy games. What I need to be convinced of is, why would I buy another system?
Right. Exactly.
That's what you have to convince me. If you can convince me why I need to buy another system, I'll buy the system. I just need to know why, and what is going to make a difference for me. Is this going to make it? Am I going to have access to games, exclusive games that are going to be more fun? Am I going to have a more enriching experience with friends? Is it going to make my streaming easier? Or am I going to be able to stream with fans on Twitch easier? Is it going to be more of a community thing? Am I going to be able to play the same games as I could on another console with Stadia and not experience any lag or anything of that nature? Like, you gotta show me why I'm going to invest in whatever the price point would happen to be.
Drag me away from my Xbox, or stopping me from going to get a PS4 to play specific games there.
Exactly.
I wouldn't buy. I'll be right now. I don't like. I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah, right now I'm not leaning towards buying. I mean, it sounds interesting, you know, but there's
Yeah.
just not, you know, there's not enough for now. If you're saving me, if I'm getting the same type of games and you're saving me money, where I'm not spending $400 or $500 on a console at release, and I'm not paying $60 a pop, but I maybe have dropped $100 on hardware, and I'm paying, let's say, $10 to $12 a month for a subscription that I'm able to access, you know, a game library at, game library too. Okay, that's something different then. You know, that's a different scenario. So it's got to be, you got to tell me what game part of the game is being changed, what's being altered, what the benefit is. And right now, I don't. There's not enough information to tell me that it's even worth considering, like you said. And I don't know if you've ever played cloud based, not even cloud based, but uh, there's different systems out there, and I've tried them because I've been exploring different platforms that essentially you can have like an underpowered computer, Mac or PC, and you want to play, you know, like League of Legends, or you want to play a game that, you know, a PC game, or, you know, a computer, you know, a game that's run on a computer, PC or Mac, that your machine just doesn't have the computing power and the graphics power to run itself. So there are services that allow you to essentially use the computing power of their servers to play this game that your machine can't do. For the life of me, I can't remember the name. I have a couple of them bookmarked, and I've done free trials on them. And it's a great concept, but there's been lag. There's been, you know, delays that make the gameplay experience not as fun and as smooth or as good as it would be if the game was installed on and running through my machine. And I'm afraid, from what we know of the infrastructure, what they've expressed is it's going to be something similar to that type of experience, where it's not going to be as smooth of an experience as it would be playing that PS4, playing that Xbox, you know, One S or One X or whatever letters they have on the Xbox now.
Yeah, and again, the one thing keeping in mind is, if with a cloud-based thing, you gotta wonder how that would work, or pan out, I should say, because like if there is a hiccup with it or something were to go wrong in today's day of technology, like you can't play. So if it's all based
Oh
on
yeah.
your, you know,
Well, it would be like, well, even though you're not a Game of Thrones watcher, you know, Game of Thrones episode 1 of season 8 was this Sunday, and I think it updated like 4 minutes before 9 o'clock. I started playing it immediately, but some people who started playing later, the app was crashing. Like there were problems with, as far as like with the servers. Um, that's gonna happen. Something new, some fire game drops. You're gonna have a ton of people, you know, online trying to play all at the same time. Will you have the power? Will you have the redundancy set up to handle all that traffic? Because the last thing you want, if you're a cloud-based platform for gaming, is to have things go down. They struggle with that enough on the current consoles that we have, let alone, you know, that are running a lot of things within the hardware. If everything is primarily on the cloud, you have to do a much better job than Sony and Microsoft are doing right now to make sure everything keeps, you know, stays up and is playable. But that's a huge concern.
and that's very, yeah, that's a big if. That's what I was gonna say. That's a big if to see if it works out. But I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be a good concept, but from what we know about it and from what I just learned about it, it's probably a ways away. I'd probably say a year out. And if they were smart, they would wait till after the Xbox and PS4 show was done and then start to slide, you know, then maybe think about like, hey, look, releasing this thing because, you know,
Yeah, 2019 sounds a little soon. as well. Like we don't have like you're telling me in April it's going to release 2019. You don't have a price point. I don't know how much how much access to games. Like you're not telling me much for something that's supposed to drop this year.
Is it supposed to be this year?
That's what they said. They said
Oh,
2019.
Yeah, then yeah, that's a big if because I don't know how much it is. I don't know what I can play on it. I don't know. So like and in terms of like a buying, like a consumer based like point of view, like I don't know what I'm buying, so why would I go spend a couple $100 on it when
Right. You can't drum up my interest if I don't know what I will be getting into.
Well, granted to Sony and them, like at the E3 conference, and all these big conferences for people in the gaming community, they'll kind of give you like a little, and I'm gonna segue into our next topic, like a little leak,
Right.
a little, hey, look, here it is, like the new Call of Duties, the new Halos. You're like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. Like I can't wait to stay up all night and play that with my friends. Like that's what's gonna make me go after work immediately and go buy this.
Right. Or say, okay, I'm going to pre-order this now. Like it's a wrap. I'm getting it. That's how I felt when the first trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. I was like, okay, this is fire. I'm getting this game. Like there's nothing is stopping me from getting this game. It's going to happen. Like when you get that feeling like, okay, I'm sold. All right, just let's make it happen. And once I'm sold there, honestly, I wasn't even mad when they had delayed it because I was already sold. Like, cool, you need to delay it? Fine. Take your time. Make sure you get it right. Go ahead. I can wait. I already know what I'm getting into. Google hasn't shown us anything to be excited about.
Far from it.
Yes. Well, speaking of leaks, you mentioned, and something that we are both excited about, I know you don't spend a whole lot on the Twitterverse, and I try to avoid the Twitterverse because it's so toxic compared to Facebook and Instagram. But
certain things are good.
Yeah.
The majority of my Twitter is like sports stuff.
Yeah, same here. But there are those, for some reason they like to suggest this and that, and it's like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
I don't want to be involved in that argument.
Yeah. Don't tell Twitter, tell a therapist is what I
Right, yeah, thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna steal that. Don't tell Twitter, tell a therapist.
Yes, yeah. Facebook, same thing.
Facebook, I mean, to me, Facebook is not as bad as Twitter where it comes to just pure toxicity. Really? But
I think Facebook's worse. That might just be the people I'm friends with. Maybe I should reevaluate that.
You might need to do a friends purge.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, man.
Well, we can say at least though that the leak that happened today of approximately 5 minutes of footage from Avengers Endgame was circling around Twitter. Didn't circle around Facebook or IG, but it was circling around Twitter. I purposely, once I heard this news, stayed off of Twitter because I did not want to come across it even in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't know if it was actually footage from the film, if it was footage that a fan took during shooting that they somehow snuck. Like, I don't even want to know, the context of this footage. I don't want anything ruining Endgame for me. And all these people resharing it and retweeting it and putting it out there. No, man, like you're ruining 10 years of amazing film universe that's been put together for what? For a 5-minute clip that who knows if that 5-minute clip is actually even in the final edit.
That's what I was gonna say, because I know for a fact that these guys make like 7 different endings or 7 different specific parts to a movie when filming.
Oh yeah, you have to nowadays to keep people guessing.
For people like this guy that went out, and I would love to know how this got done. And from what I've read, and I didn't watch it, I was like, this is going to be totally so bad if I watch, because I want the movie to blow me away.
Exactly.
Good, bad, sad, ugly, indifferent, whatever. I want to just leave the theater and just be like, oh my God. Like, this is crazy. Because all the movies that we have watched and kept up with leading up to it, like, I'm not going to let a goofy 5-minute tweet be like, oh man, like, seriously? Like, and I don't know, from what I'm reading, it's a crucial part of it, but
Well, that's what they said. I read an article on Engadget during the middle of the day around noon, I say, and they said that it's several minutes of blurry footage that were leaked. They say the footage reveals some significant plot details. There's GIFs, there's screenshots, descriptions that are all over Twitter and, of course, Reddit as well, because Reddit's got all that stuff.
yeah, if you need stuff, go to Reddit.
Right. If anything's leaked, it's probably going to be leaked on Reddit first. So people are wondering where it came from. Disney apparently did show critics 10 minutes of the footage in the US and around 20 minutes in South Korea. So no one knows for sure where this release footage came from. And especially because the footage is of poor quality. They are definitely seem to be leaning towards the fact that someone may have illegally recorded it at one of those showings. But also Engadget said if you somehow do happen to see the footage,
do not ruin it.
Yeah, that it shouldn't completely ruin the film for everyone, and that they doubt that it's going to make a difference in the insane pre-sale records that Endgame has set with a week and a half before it comes out.
Friday.
Is it this? Oh, it is this
Friday.
It is Friday. Yeah. So, yeah, like it's to me, it's like, come on, you really can't wait that long. I mean, come on, it's not even a week.
I don't think it's anything, and from what people are saying, like, first of all, the whole movie is crucial.
Oh yeah.
Right. But if it's blurry footage of 5 minutes, like, how many movies can you go back and be like, well, 5 minutes is nothing? But I think in this case, like, I don't think it means much, but it's kind of just like a matter of fact thing. Like, why would anybody just leak it? Like, come on, like, we're all going to go see it. Anybody that actually does care about it is going to probably not watch. I've been reading a lot of comments with that too. Like, yeah,
the people they're going to watch. I mean, this isn't like when they had that when HBO got hacked and the whole like first 4 or 5 episodes, what was it, season like 5 or 6, got leaked. And people were downloading that and watching it. Like, that was significant. That was like half the season. Which would impact your ratings and such, because people weren't watching at release night, then they watched ahead of time. This is a blurry 5 minutes that isn't likely to ruin anything.
Yeah, and I don't know.
But I don't even want to take the chance.
But
yeah, but I don't even want to take the chance. Like, I want no chances to mess up this movie.
It's silly though that someone would do that. That's right up there with the Bret Hart guy. Like, dude, come on.
It's silly. It's not. It's to me. It's like they just want to. I don't wait. What do you?
I was the guy that leaked it. Look at me.
Well, not even like one. Like, if you can't admit that though, because they make you sign legal documents before they even show this to you, because it's an unreleased film. Like, you can't just record it. Like, it's not like going to movie theaters and they say no devices. Like, you have to sign disclosures for seeing things that early, or have like if you're a critic that gets access to film, like, you have an ongoing document that says, I'm not going to leak this content. Like, you can't just do that, so you can't get any fame out of it. You're not like it's a news source and they're saying, hey, we got to check this out first. Here, see this clip before it hits theaters. Like, you can't put it out there. So what's even the selfish motivation to releasing it? Like, it doesn't help you. And if your rival studio, mad at Disney for pretty much owning the world now that they own Fox too, what is the motivation? What could you possibly gain by releasing that? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
To me, it doesn't either. It's probably just somebody again looking to, hey, look at me, look at like I got it leaked, like, but again, I don't know what it's gonna do for that guy's profession. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about that because to your point, yeah, you do have to sign stuff.
Yeah. And eventually, like, they're going to find out who did it. Like, they're going to eventually track your IP. Something like they're going to find whoever it was. Like, you're not going to get away with leaking that. Disney's got too much juice to let that go. From arguably the biggest movie release of Disney history. Like,
it could be.
I mean, pretty much it already is. And if you look at the pre-sales, it pretty much already is, and the movie hasn't come out yet. This is probably going to be the biggest money-making movie in history when it's all said and done.
I think it will be.
It's like
I think it's gonna be astronomically, like, not even close. Because what is the all-time?
Oh man, the all-time I don't even know anymore. I mean, it used to be what was it? It used to be the movie I hate so much. Used to be Gone with the Wind. And then it was like Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I forget. It's changed a couple times recently.
So here, all-time leaders, box office worldwide. Avatar.
Yes, Avatar.
Titanic.
Okay, Gone with the Wind is still up the top. Okay, because adjusted for inflation, I'm assuming.
Well, here's a feather in Marvel's cap. Because listen to your top, 10. It would be.
Okay, yes, Avatar. Yep. Okay.
Avatar, Titanic, Star Wars in 2015.
Force Awakens, yeah.
Avengers: Infinity War is already number 4, and it hasn't even been released yet.
No, that's Infinity War. That was last year.
Oh, Infinity War. Sorry.
Yeah. Then we got Jurassic World at number 5.
7, The Avengers, Age of Ultron, Black Panther.
Yes, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Disney-owned movies within the top 10. And then The Last Jedi is at 11, Frozen at 13, Beauty and the Beast, Incredibles 2, Iron Man 3, Civil War, all within the top 20. Toy Story at 26, Captain Marvel at 28, and that's still in the theaters. Yeah, this is gonna. Yeah, we know Endgame is gonna outsell Infinity War. So at the minimum, it's going to crack the top 3.
I think
crack the top 4.
Infinity War and whatever are going to swap places. Everyone's going to be knocked down at least one. I think that it goes all the way to the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money.
Looking at it now, the top ones are all pretty close. I mean,
well, yeah, Avatar 2.7 billion worldwide, Titanic 2.1, Star Wars Force Awakens 2.06. I think,
Infinity War was 2.48. So like
2.048, yeah, Infinity War.
So yeah. A lot of these are pretty close. I think that it's gonna at least get top 3. I truly think that with the people that are starting to get into it are like, yeah, maybe catching up on the movies, like Black Panther, Infinity War. If you saw Infinity War and you couldn't wait for this to come out, you're crazy.
Yeah.
So it's whoever watched Infinity War is gonna have to see this at some point.
They're going to see this movie. Yeah, without a doubt.
Is this an all-time? I'm assuming this is like an all-time list. I don't know if this.
Yeah, this is all-time list. Yeah.
Okay, so this is an opening day.
Yeah, this is all-time box. I'm looking at on Box Office Mojo. This is all-time gross.
So yeah, I think worldwide, I think Infinity War smashes it, or Endgame smashes it.
Yeah, and Infinity War came close. So, yeah. I mean, I don't remember what the pre-sale numbers are, but it's absolutely insane.
What I'm excited for is the critics that are going to come out and tell me it's a bad movie.
You really think they're going to come out? Like,
There's always a couple.
I mean, there always is somebody who's gonna. I mean, that's what they do. Like people pay attention to them because they're always looking at something negative. But
Right.
let's see here.
I don't think the plot was good enough. I don't think that like this is like one of I will say this. Probably one of the most invested storylines I've ever been into.
Oh, they've done a marvelous job. I was talking recently on Facebook just around the structure of the MCU, how Marvel built it by taking A characters and making movies that introduced to the casual non-comic book fan some of their B and C characters, giving those B and C characters their own kind of origin story films, tying those into the central plot films, which were the Avengers movies, and then culminating into roughly, I think it's like 20 films over a 10-year span, which culminates here at Endgame, essentially. And you have, like, I never, growing up as a kid, as a comic book fan, uh, and I was always one of those weird comic book fans that actually liked some of the C-level characters, like Falcon, characters people hadn't really even heard of or paid attention to. Um, I never thought I'd see the day where there would be a Ant-Man movie. I'm sorry, not two Ant-Man movies.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Like, bruh,
I
Ant-Man.
haven't seen either of the Ant-Mans. I don't know. They don't do it for me. I don't know, but
I saw them. Well, see, I would see. You've got time. Well, Ant-Man and the Wasp is on Netflix, and you need to at least watch that one because there is definitely an important tie-in with Ant-Man and the Wasp to Endgame.
I need to do that then.
You need to do that. That's a definite because the last you've seen of Ant-Man probably was from Civil War, and
yes.
Okay, so you don't even need to bother watching Ant-Man 1 because that's an origin story. But Ant-Man and the Wasp, you definitely need to watch beforehand. And then that's the beauty of what they've done with this. Like you need to have watched Doctor Strange to understand his tie-in. You need to have watched Black Panther to understand his tie-in. You need to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp to understand part of what's going to ultimately culminate at Endgame, which so far, I looked it up here, the initial pre-sales was expected to bring in 200 to 250 million. I'm sorry, no. Endgame was primed to bring in 200 to 250 million dollars during its opening weekend. That was the expectation. The initial take so far here in the pre-sale tickets is 257 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So it looks like it's going to, all data says it's going to blow Infinity War out of the water, and it's definitely going to put this movie into the top 10, if not number one. Plus, with Captain Marvel still being out, and just with the superhero push, Captain Marvel and Aquaman's recent releases do nothing but help keep people interested in the superhero genre anyway. So even those who may not have been as excited to see it are really like, you know, this superhero thing, it's working. Let's go see this film. Maybe not opening weekend because opening weekend is going to be insane, but they're going to go see this film. The box office is going to be crazy for this movie.
Yeah, and yeah, like we could sit here and talk about it all night. Is like just the storyline that you've like. It seems like a personal thing at this point. You know, like you need to go and see this just because like you're dying to see what happens. Like I don't remember a movie series that has done that. And
no, you're right because it's a masterful piece of work. It's a 10-year, I think it's 20 films, investment of a story. Like this is one of the most ambitious projects in film history. Like this is something that should be being taught at film schools. Like this is how you create a film universe.
And it's coming after.
Yeah.
Because Guardians of the Galaxy is also getting another movie
They're getting the third movie. Yep. James Gunn is back on the helm for that.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of other ones too. Like Deadpool 3 would probably be coming around.
Oh, don't know when that would happen, just because obviously now that Disney owns Fox, they have not said anything solid as far as whether Deadpool would continue to be rated R. Obviously, Reynolds would like to continue to do the role. He would continue to want it to be rated R. Disney's going to have to really start making some tough choices when it comes to their content, because now they own all this this non-Disney type content. You know, they think about who they own now. Now they own The Simpsons. Now they own Archer. Now they own all the stuff from FXX. Now they own Sunny. You know, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, they own all of this stuff. Sons of Anarchy. They own all this Fox stuff and FXX stuff and FX stuff that is not programming you would think that Disney would produce. So they have a lot of choices when it comes to their adult-themed content and how much of it are they going to continue to make, and how they're going to distribute that content. Can you, like, we'll tie into this, the last topic for the night here. So, did you hear about the Disney Plus announcement?
I have not.
Okay, so essentially Disney's been pulling out their stuff out of Netflix because they are releasing their own streaming service called Disney Plus, which is going to have everything that they have, everything the Disney Vault. So families, people with families and kids like me are gonna be excited because all the Disney movies, all the animated films, all the live action features are all gonna be in there, including the Star Wars films, including the Marvel cinematic films. All that Disney-owned content is going to be in Disney Plus, which is going to be just pretty dope, because I'm excited to watch pretty much all of it. But now that they own Fox as well, are they going to pull that content into that offering, which makes it a very interesting situation there, because you're, like I said before, you're pulling in a lot of adult content on the Fox side. Like, how are you going to continue to take what was successful and money making on Fox, and yet continue to be family friendly Disney? It's to me like they pretty much have to own Fox and let Fox run itself like a separate entity to still remain Fox. But Disney's also known for having so much control and hands-on, like Vince McMahon or everything. Like, it's crazy. I don't know how they're going to do that, because it's such a precarious thing. You don't want to ruin a good thing like Deadpool and allow the other Fox content that they own, but Disney's going to be Disney too. So it's like, a lot of these things are really up in the air. It's kind of, I mean, for fans of a lot of that stuff, fans like I enjoy, especially Early Sunny. I love Archer. It's probably my favorite adult cartoon out there.
I agree.
There's a lot of Bob Burger fans out there. It's like, where is this stuff going to go? That's a really big question mark right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a good move for them.
They seem to want to own everybody and everything. I mean, they already own ABC. Now they own Fox. They own ESPN. They own Marvel. They own Star Wars. Like, pretty much, like, what's left? CBS? NBC? Yes. It's like, that's like it?
NBC.
Oh, TNT's still out there, but I don't know anybody that watches TNT outside of basketball and baseball and TBS. Like, I don't know anybody that watches TNT shows. I can't even name a TNT show. Like,
I mean, Law and Order.
That's they maybe do reruns, but Law and Order was a NBC show.
Was it? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Law and Order was an NBC show. So if TNT's playing, those are reruns.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, losing Netflix is going to be tough for them, though.
Well, see, they're pulling out. Like, Netflix is, hurting a little bit because of, they still have some Disney content because they did sign out. Obviously, they have an agreement, they had a contract. But a lot of the stuff that they could pull out that expired, they pulled it out because of their, like, hey, well, we can make our own network. And why not? We've got a much more impressive and nostalgic library. Like Disney Plus is going to be pretty much just selling, nostalgia crack, and it's going to make a ton of money.
Right.
Like I'm already like twitching like a fiend because I'm like, because growing up, Disney was very stingy with the vault. They would release something for a limited time. Your parents, if they wanted to appease you, would have to buy like a $30 VHS or DVD version of the movie, and if they didn't buy it within that like 2-month span, they got locked away in the vault for another 8-10 years. Like you just couldn't get access to it. But a service where I could go and watch The Rescuers and from 1977, and then the next time I can put on Frozen for my kids, and I can go and I can watch Herbie the Love Bug from the 60s, and I can go watch The Incredibles 2 the next day. Like that's fire. That's dope.
That is good.
That's really, really good.
I will probably stick with Netflix, but because I wouldn't be watching. So I think that's like more audience specific, like for children and whatnot. Yeah, but then you're gonna have to try to convert people off of Netflix to go to the Disney thing, which I'm sure will be successful. But again, it's drawing people away from Netflix, which I think is going to be very difficult.
See, I don't know, because one, their price point is extremely affordable. It's only $6.99 a month.
That's not bad.
Yeah, compared to Netflix, which is, I got the email from Netflix this week that my price is going up to like $15.99.
Yes.
I'm like, bro, for what? Like Hulu's prices just went down. Prime's prices are pretty much the same as it's been. It went up a little bit, but it still like averages out if you pay monthly to like $12.99. And Disney's price is going to be less than $10, but Netflix is going up in their price. Yeah, so Netflix is going up in price. So if I'm Netflix, I'm going to be like, yo, check yourselves. What are you doing where you have to up your prices and everybody else is lowering theirs or coming at a much more affordable price point? Because that's big. Now, as much as I have had Netflix for years and years and years, and they have some things that I like, their original programming with a select few things are not doing it for me. I mean, I still have Netflix mainly for the few shows that I really like that they have, and they're in the anime now, because that's like the best thing for me right now. All the older rerun TV stuff that I really liked, they don't have anymore. All that stuff's on Prime or Hulu. A lot of my favorite shows like Chuck, Battlestar Galactica, Burn Notice, Monk, Psych, all those shows that I love, not on Netflix anymore. They're on Hulu or they're on Prime. Their new stuff, some of their new stuff is really cool. The Umbrella, whatever. I watched the first episode of that. That was dope. The new Ultraman anime is fire. I watched that entire season in like a day and a half. Like, they're coming out with some cool stuff, but it's not enough. It's not enough for me to be like, hey, $16 a month, when I'm only watching it maybe a quarter of the time I used to, because a lot of the stuff I like is not there anymore, and you're not producing that good or that much new stuff. And they're big shows. Orange and New Black is canceled because it turned to trash. They canceled the Kevin Spacey one with what was that called? The political one. I didn't even like it.
I think I know what you're talking about. But then they also have the shows like I can get into. Like, I thought like oh geez, what is that called? With Escobar. Narcos.
Oh, Narcos. Yeah, Narcos. They have Narcos. Yeah.
Awesome. But
great show.
The Punisher. The Punisher was awesome.
No, but they don't have that anymore. That's Marvel. Right. That's going away.
Right, which that
not good. Luke Cage, Daredevil, Jessica Jones was okay too. Then the Iron Fist was terrible. But losing those, that hurts.
Right, which I would agree with you, is that would steer me to go get the Disney thing then.
Right. And
it all depends on who you're appealing to and who's going to be who's watching what. How a lot of it is age. you know, maybe some people like to stick with the Netflix just because of the shows and the types that are on there. But the Disney thing, like I could see that, like if like for someone like yourself, like if you want to watch it with like you know your kids or whatnot, like yeah, that's very lucrative at a very
Not even just me, man, dude. Pretty much almost every dude with a girlfriend is gonna have to have it.
oh yeah, it's gonna make a requirement soon. Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be a
oh,
requirement
Netflix is
soon.
good.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Netflix and chill. It's gonna be Disney Plus and cuddle. Like,
Right,
you know,
change that up.
yo, I should start printing shirts that say that Disney Plus and cuddle, baby, because
Right?
that's gonna be what it is. You know, that is gonna be the. You know, I mean, I'm looking at my Netflix list right now, um, just to try to get an idea as far as like what is really keeping me paying these people outside of just convenience. And I mean, I've got Sword Art Online. I can watch that anywhere. Avengers, Bond movies, but the Bond movies aren't going to last long. Their licensing with the Bond films never does last long. Black Panther, that's not going to last forever. Some more anime I can watch elsewhere. Star Trek, I can watch Star Trek anywhere. I mean, I own them on DVD. I can watch Star Trek anytime. Cheers, Robotech, more anime, Pulp Fiction. A lot of these, a lot of these don't even. I'm looking at my list here. There's not even the original stuff. Eat Man 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
The Flash, Sherlock. That's BBC. You know, most of these. Okay, so what they have that really would be keeping me, and then of course that requires for these shows to keep on going as far as originals, would be, so their original anime like the aforementioned Ultraman, for example, and Castlevania, which is really dope. But Stranger Things, that's probably my favorite original show of theirs right now.
very good.
Hold on, no, that's the Marvel one. That's the Marvel one. No, that's Marvel one too. Yeah, all like the Get Done I love, but they canceled that.
Yeah, a lot of it I think is gonna have to do with, like you said, like time running its course. What's gonna happen with the rights? What shows are gonna be there? What are not? Because that might make me cancel my Netflix. I
Yeah,
mean, because if there's not certain shows you can watch, like me and you both know, if you want to watch one of the new shows, you might be able to go find it somewhere online.
yeah,
Because the internet, like we've discussed all night, is the internet, and you know people have mysterious ways. So like, yeah, it might be lesser quality, but yeah, there's like I watch like some sport. Like I'll tell you, I stream some sports games that I can't get.
yeah.
So I mean, like if people want it, they're gonna go get it. But
They'll find it somehow. I mean, how do you think I watched WrestleMania? Wasn't paying for the network.
yeah, it's easy. Reddit is
Yeah, like I'm not paying for the network. Are you kidding me? Come on, no. But yeah, looking at this, it's like all of this stuff.
Oh
Like,
wow.
and a lot of my queue, I'm looking at my list here. A lot of it's movies. Some of them, a good number of them I own. But it's like if you told me, hey, you're gonna spend $50 buying some movies that you didn't have in your collection, compared to paying $16 a month over the next foreseeable how many months. Yeah, I'm gonna spend the $50 to buy, to buy these movies. I mean, and some of these, I mean, I already own Delirious. I own The Crow. I own all these Jackie Chan movies in here.
Yeah.
Like, I own all the Indiana Jones. Like, a lot of this is just convenience, quick access, so I don't have to get off my butt and pop a DVD in or go into my iTunes collection and press play. This is, right now, a convenience thing more than, hey, there's great content on here that I can't get anywhere else that keeps drawing me back.
Yeah, I will say it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't watch, like I'll be the first person to say I don't do too much of this like shows. Like I should probably get into more shows like once summer comes and maybe like time winds down, you know what I mean, and like stuff kind of settles down. For like like your personal reasons, like work and stuff, and
Oh, of course, yeah.
what time of the year it is, other stuff that might not be that, but like yeah, like I would want to start a new show, or if something came out that's different, like yeah, I want to find it. Now the option is, yeah, what am I gonna pay for? How much? Like, and what's the option gonna be? Because like Archer used to be on Netflix, it's not anymore.
Yeah, I know. It broke my heart.
Bothered me because like I would go back and watch that at like any time.
Me too. I bought it just because I was like, you know what? I love this show. It's not on Netflix. I can't depend on it. I just went and bought it.
Yeah.
It was on sale on iTunes. I bought the first 8 seasons, and then I bought season 9 after that. And I'm sure I'll buy season 10, which I can't wait for because they're going they're going back. They're going to space. You know, it's like I might as well buy it. You know, like,
Well.
yeah, it used to be where Netflix was convenient, where I didn't need to buy these things. Now it's like, okay, I can buy this, and a lot of times it's really affordable because, like Battlestar Galactica, I bought that. Generally, each season would be like $20. I got it on sale. I think I got the entire thing for all 4 seasons for like 30. I bought every season of Psych on some crazy sale on iTunes for $5 a season. Like they have sales, you know, every once in a while for sure. I bought a season of Fresh Prince for $5. I think it was season 2. Yeah, you can't beat that. Like if this means I just have to increase my library, okay, $5 here and there is a whole lot better than 16. Because I can take that other 12 and save it, and I can, you know, take my, you know, get something, a treat for my kids. I can buy a pizza or something like that, you know, for my kids or a special night. Like I can do a whole lot more with that $12 than give it to Netflix for just the convenience of having a list of stuff that I probably should just own.
Yeah, and I agree. In kind of my closing statements, to say the least, like the thing with that is like what like the point of like buying like the $6.99 Disney thing, or like if you went on iTunes, like I don't buy stuff on iTunes that much, like seasons and stuff of TV shows, like, but if you did like yourself, like you're gonna spend the $5 on Fresh Prince, like you're gonna watch it.
Yeah,
You know you're gonna watch it. Like if you have Netflix for like the $20 a month, like who knows if you get around to everything. So
right.
to your point, yeah, if you're gonna spend $5, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I can watch it as many times as I like, and it's not gonna get yanked off Netflix. Like
Exactly.
I have it. So I don't know. It should be interesting, my friend. It should be very interesting.
We like to keep it interesting here at Jeek Nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to yet another episode of the Original Jeek podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm so glad to have my man PR Pat Rhodes here joining me while David is out handling his business. But he's always a pleasure to have. I can't wait to actually have David on here with you because it will definitely liven things up
Soon.
in the future. Definitely very soon.
It's gonna be like Skip and Shannon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Undisputed on it.
Undisputed, baby.
Yeah.
So as we draw to a close here, I do, while we're still on there, let's solidify right now, because one of my other homies hit me up today about Endgame. So let's solidify when we gonna see Endgame. What day works? Because I'm prepared to even take off of work because I ain't even playing with this movie.
I'm thinking like Friday, Saturday night. No.
Yeah, not doing it. Yeah, crowds are me crazy.
Maybe like a Sunday night, maybe. Like a Sunday night at like an 8:00 showing. Because people typically aren't as prone to doing things that late on a Sunday.
Yeah, because they gotta go to work the next day.
Right, but like you said, if I have to, what is it, 2 hours? That'd be fine.
No, 3 hours and 2 minutes, my friend.
Is it? All right, so if it's a 7:00 show or something, yeah, because I'll probably plan it out. I might sneak in on Sunday, so Sunday is going to be my tentative day to go see it. I'll probably take my younger brother with me. He follows it just as much as we do. So I think we're going to hop in the car and let's do it.
All right, so if you're thinking about a Sunday is, okay, well, if you go on a Sunday, what would you see it in? Because you've got IMAX, you got Real 3D, IMAX 3D, and standard format.
Probably standard.
You see it standard.
I might get a headache if I watch it in something else. And
okay.
I don't want any sort of external factors watching this 3-hour movie. So
that's a good point. All right, so that gives you more options. So if you're looking at, let's say, well, which theater I'm looking at? I'm looking at Center Valley 16, the former rave. So if you're looking at that, actually, they've got like an afternoon at 3. They've got a 5 o'clock
Ooh.
show. They've got a 5:30 show, a 7 o'clock show, 9:30, and 11. So that is a pretty, those afternoon ones are pretty good, pretty sweet spot there.
I would be in because I don't know what the weather's going to be like. If it's a little decent out, people might not want to go to the movies.
Facts.
I will be. I don't care.
Weather, don't care.
So I would, I would be if you want to go that day, and we'll make it a plan.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm thinking of doing here is making this the first local Jeek Nation meetup. So put it out there. Anyone obviously that wants to, kind of meet us there, do a little, pregame, chat about what's exciting about it, and head in and get seated at the show. Do that for that. That's the 28th, Sunday the 28th. I'm gonna put it out there to see if we can get some other people to come through. I know my one boy who does Breaking Ring Rust, my boy JT. He does a Breaking Ring Rust podcast here with me. I know he's interested in seeing that, so we can probably make something happen and get some of the homies to roll through.
I'll be there. I live right down the street. So
yes, indeed. Awesome. Well, thank you always, PR, and everyone. Again, thank you for listening. You can follow us at Jeek Nation on Facebook. Again, at Jeek, Jeek Nation. You can follow us on Twitter at Jeek Nation as well. And you can subscribe to the original Jeek podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Castbox, pretty much any podcast streaming platform that you use. And if we are not on a platform that you use, please let us know. You can hit us up on the aforementioned social medias, and we'll be glad to make sure we are on them. And until next time, peace.
Sunday it is.